Okay. Itam existico. Good day. It is Saturday, the 19th of August 2023, sometime around noontime, and I am following Google Maps directions to Fort Walsh, which is on the border in the Cypress Hills here, on the border of Saskatchewan and Alberta. And we're on a mission, we're on a quest today, but I am very suspicious of these Google directions, given where they're taking me now. Like, this can't be the easiest way to get to Fort Walsh, which is an actual like interpretive center and all this kind of stuff. It's an old Northwest Mounted Police base, but we're not going there to look at that. We're going there to look at a particular rock outcrop that exists out that way. I'll get my phone and I'll tell you what we're up to. I have, if you're a YouTube member and you're at the kind of the highest echelon of membership now, which is the co-creator membership, which is like $20 a month or something, you can give me a question or quest to go on once a month. And they're not always going to be, you know, real crazy quests and stuff, but the first one I thought, let's do it up. Hey, so I had, here was the quest that was given to me. This came from Isabel Temple. She said, okay, I thought of a quest. I haven't walked the park that you walk, but from the video it looks like most of the rock bed visible is glacial till and gravel bed. Below those layers there should be some sedimentary dolostone from there, from the glacial lake, and below that metamorphic rock from the shield. Are there any rock outcrops visible or exposed from the glacial passing? Any rock outcrops that don't look like gravel base? And the short and sweet answer to that, as far as my area in Lethbridge goes, is no. There is no rock outcrops of any sort like that. However, there is a rock outcrop in the territory that I have been meaning to check out myself, and that is out here by Fort Walsh. We're going to take a look at that. Let me hook this fence back up so we can get back on the road and see where this takes us. So the place that I want to go is most commonly referred to as the Mystery Rocks of Saskatchewan. And it is a rock outcropping that looks a lot like some megaliths, like carved megalithic rock, giant rock from ancient man or some such. Looks a lot like that, but I believe the geologists out here say it is not part of that. It is a natural rock outcropping. So I wanted to take a look at it with my own eyes and see what I thought for myself. But we're gonna head out there today and check that out. We will probably also, of course, we'll be going past Fort Walsh. I'll show you that in passing. But right next to there also is the site of the Cypress Hills Massacre. Probably talk about that a little bit. These hills in general here are called Guttoists in Blackfoot, which means the blood clot, but it also refers to the sweet pine, the subalpine fir tree. And in Blackfoot, this is considered an extension of, that these are connected to Guttoists in Montana, the sweetgrass, what they call the sweetgrass hills in Montana. So, but this is a pretty crazy route for Google Earth to have, or for Google Maps to have given me to get to the Fort Walsh. Seems a little bit of a rough ride for most people. I'm on an adventure and I'm in my truck, so I don't mind too much. Plus, at this point, I really want to see if it's even the correct way through. But yeah, we should be getting on that way. The rocks, the mystery rocks, the outcropping that I want to get to is on private land. That could present a problem for us. We'll see when we get there. All reports online are that you could go to Fort Walsh and make arrangements so you can hike out there. But I tried to contact Fort Walsh yesterday, and I did so by email finally, and they got back to me and they said they don't have anything to do with that site, and so it's not their purview, basically. So I don't know what to think about that, but we will continue on and we'll see if we can get there. Well, that's Fort Walsh, so we found that much, which is a good deal. Means it's not too much further to these stones, maybe 3-kilometer hike or something like that. When I pulled in, I asked, they had somebody dressed, they got people dressed up like Northwest Mounted Police, they got people dressed up like Métis, and some young woman looking like she's at a little house on the prairie came to greet me. Bonjour. Language of the land, of course. I said okie to her, she says bonjour to me. Any case, I told her what I'm here for, and she said that it's on private land. They are not allowed to tell me even, how to get there, whatever, but I'm free to park my car in their parking lot and take a walk all I want. So that is what I'm doing. I'm gonna walk out and cross the creek, climb the hill, and see if we can't find the Mystery Stones of Saskatchewan. It's got to be a way better name for this site. It needs a much better name, but that's what it's going as now. I also think down this way, maybe about 2 kilometers down this road, is where the actual Cypress Hills Massacre occurred. And that's linked with this fort, why the fort is here. Basically, everybody used to come around the Cypress Hills hunting bison. And it was kind of a, even though it's on Blackfoot territory, it was kind of, there was treaties and people were allowed to be here and hunting here and all of this kind of thing. So there's lots of different people around the hills and in the hills, and there was a band of Nakota that were camped down here by the river, by the creek, and apparently down in Montana around Fort Benton area there was these wolfers, in the late 1860s through the 1870s. You had commercial wolfers out here, as the buffalo were being exterminated, they would take a buffalo carcass and lace the whole thing with strychnine and stuff, and then wolves and coyotes would come and eat off the carcass and die, and they would collect the wolves and coyotes and sell their tan and sell their skins. That was the wolfing practice, and that practice actually led to the decimation of a lot of wildlife here. As you can imagine, putting that poison out there, that was the first real reason that the bald eagles almost disappeared. That was it brought down the vultures. Like, there's still today, there's hardly any turkey vultures, you know, in Blackfoot territory, whereas in the past, when the bison were here, they were plentiful. Even the magpies, in the first year that the Audubon Christmas bird count was done in Alberta, there was no magpies on the count. And it was only later that the magpie population kind of refurbished itself, you know. But before that, they were wiped out by these wolfers. So anyway, there's a group of, you know, dozen or so wolfers down there, and they had some horses stolen, and the thieves took the horses north, crossing the line. The guys from Fort Benton, the wolfers, went into Fort Benton, looked to the law, asked for help, didn't receive immediate help, and so they decided to take the matters into their own hands. They came up this way looking for who took their horses. The Nakota camp that they came to didn't have their horses, but they had horses. And so, as my understanding, somewhere up in here, one of the wolfers claimed another horse had recently been stolen, and that he wanted to go into the Nakota camp and take a horse from there. And so they went into the Nakota camp, started demanding that they be allowed to take one of their horses. At some point, the women and children in the camp started to go for safety, started to run away for safety. The men started stripping down, and this meant there was going to be a fight. And it wasn't that much of a fight. There was only one guy, one of the wolfers, that got killed in the fray, but a whole lot of Nakota. I don't know official reports and non-official reports, but somewhere between, as you know, as 30, maybe 30 people to even 300 were massacred out here. Basically just the way that the U.S. Army was handling things in the States, finding camps and just destroying them. So that happened, and it didn't really get known right away. Like, the wolfers kind of got away with it for a while, and there was just a trickle of rumor about this mass killing. I guess the bones and stuff just laid here at the camp for a long time, and maybe even years. But any case, the government did eventually find out about it, Canadian and American governments, and the Canadian government tried to seek justice. It helped to kind of reinforce the notion that they needed to send a military police unit out here, which was the Northwest Mounted Police, right? They were already looking at Fort Whoop-Up, basically Lethbridge area, Fort Whoop-Up as a problem, but they didn't get the police, you know, ready to roll just for Whoop-Up. You know, this massacre happened, and then they knew also it was just another impetus that they had to come out here, and that's, I'm sure, why they put the fort right here too. So that's a little bit of the history of this place. It's not a nice history. I mean, there was a lot nicer history before that. It's sad that everything kind of reverts to that now, you know. But in any case, let's go see if we can find them rocks. I don't know if I'm on the right track anymore. Trying to find my way down to the creek and across, and I think I'm kind of in the creek. Oh yeah, I am in the wrong place. Shit. Quite a vast territory, really. I think the place you want to go is up there. But I'm not sure. There's that creek I was trying to cross way down there in those trees. That would have been silly. Glad I backtracked and chose a different route. But yeah, I'm thinking it's right up there in those hills. I see what looks like it might be rock outcropping there, and yeah, I'm hoping I can find it anyway. That would suck to do this whole trip for nothing, but sometimes things work like that too. I don't know. Anyway, keep hiking. Our path is taking us across some water. This is, I think this is the Battle River, the so-called creek I've been waiting to cross. I still don't see the structure of the rocks on this other side, and I thought I'd be able to see them by now, and I'm concerned about that, because I don't want to go too far on too long a hike and not end up even getting to where I need to go. And stupid Google Maps, I should have printed out photos and stuff. It's all like my signal's kind of sucky now and it's kind of blurry. Or not printed off photos, even just taking a screenshot and taking it with me on my camera roll would have been great. We'll see if we get there. Just been following this cattle road and can see I'm passing by some stone outcroppings now. I'm kind of hoping that this leads, well, obviously I'm counting on it, that this will lead to the mystery rocks. If it doesn't, I might reschedule for another day. So I've been walking a while now, and I'm not sure where they are or where I am. Sucks to come this far and not see them, though. It would be pretty tough to get up the motivation to come out and do this again. But we do have rocky outcrop. Jeez, I don't know. Here's what that natural stone looks like. It's almost a sandstone from the feel of it. Lots of the orange, what did they call it? Sunburst. The sunburst lichen. Shoot. Alright, I'm going to follow a little bit more this way, but it's starting to go down, so I don't know. Well, lo and behold, I think I've found them. I think right up on this hill is the Mystery Stones of Alberta. Holy smokes. That was a hike. And it is pretty hidden. Like I couldn't see it from the other side of the canyon. It's pretty close to ready to give up. Lots of badger activity in here. They're after the ground squirrels. Oh, I catch my breath and I'll meet you up there. Yeah, this is what I was looking for. Check out how these rocks are all shaped and stuff. I mean, there's some pretty straight lines, but I suppose it could be natural fissures. Look at this. I don't know. Definitely resembles megalith work, you know? 90-degree angles and very geometric shapes. There's some suggestion that these were used for, you know, by native people here for grinding food. I don't know. This stone is pretty loose. It's like it is almost like a sandstone consistency. And I don't know how good that would be on your teeth if you were grinding food in there. Probably not too cool. Out that way it just kind of, all the rocks kind of scatter. Here they're nice and tight. So it looks like a wall was set up here and then fell back this way, you know? Whew. Now I do know an archaeologist who's been for a long time, for decades, working here in the Cypress Hills, and the site that he is, his name is Jerry Otlar, and the site he's been digging, he's gone down to the glacial till, 9,000 years plus, and he's still finding stuff, but he's hit the water table, and he can't do any more till we can, you know, navigate that. But he's still finding stuff, and he still thinks he can find cultural items going down below that. So as far as all that goes, you know, when the glaciers came through, they may have eradicated a lot of the cultural materials that were actually on or near bedrock or what have you. But so I don't know what to think of this site. I guess I would have to say still very potential nature fact, but it's a pretty interesting nature fact, you know. And I'm happy to have come out here as a first quest, even though, goodness, that was a hike. I think I see the fort way off in the distance over there. Okay, let's boost this up, see if we can get a good selfie shot from way up high, and probably start making my way out. It's what I wanted to see, and I've seen it. Right on. Maybe that'll be the thumbnail. Yeah, I really almost gave up on this quest. I'm just not feeling tip tops. I don't know, earlier in the week I was feeling really energized, and I felt like I had fully recovered from that flu or whatever. But then going into yesterday, my legs started being sore, and then last night, as the temperature dropped outside, my legs got very sore, to the point where, you know, when I'd wake up at all in the night, it would be hard for me to get back to sleep because the aching was just painful. A lot around my hips, but down both of my thighs and into my knees. A lot of achy pain. I don't know if that's osteoarthritis starting to signal me, or what's going on. I'm hoping that it just means the weather was getting cold and not that I'm getting under the weather. But like I say, I don't feel tip tops, and that not having that energy is a big deal. I never quit things. Like when I say I'm gonna do something, I usually go and do it. That's why, like even today, I pushed through and did it. Because I feel like, you know, I said I was gonna go do it, and I'm counting on me to do the things that I say I'm gonna do, you know, nonetheless anybody else. So, now I got the long hike back, and then the long drive back, and then hopefully some really good rest, because this was a doozy for me in my condition today. It's a nice environment though, hey? The hills here. Imagine when it had bison and wolves and bears. I mean, still bears here, but this place used to have a lot more like grizzlies and stuff than it does now. Gotta go to the mountains to get to those now. Still can encounter some out here, but finally coming within sight of the fort again. I'm just beat. Pretty glad Britt decided to stay home for this one. I was kind of giving her a hard time about it, but now, having done it, she would not have been happy. We probably would not have made it to the site. If we did, she'd be about ready to kill me by now. She doesn't like to walk like this. I'm ready to roll. I guess that's one in the books for quests, and a pretty good one too. Not seeing many people around. I wonder if maybe it's closing time already. It's got to be close to 5 o'clock, if not after 5 by this time. That's a pretty long hike. Whew. Hopefully the building is still open upstairs, up the hill, because I need a washroom. In a way that I don't want to use in the bush.